Hey everyone, on Monday I'm going to be going down to Gamey and checking out this new light gun that they've got that works with modern TVs. You don't need a PC, you don't need anything. It is on Kickstarter at the moment. I reached out to them and they've agreed to let me come in and have a go on this gun and speak with the development team and see what they think. Now there are 4 games for this, or up to 4 games within this Kickstarter. You can get Time Crisis 1, Point Blank, Still Gunner, and Still Gunner 2. In terms of the design, you've got the black one and the blue one. The blue one's for global, black one is for the Japanese. And as you can see here, you've got different tiers of what you can get. But essentially, you've got the base tier with the gun and the console. This essentially just plugs into your TV via HDMI. It's really cool. You can get it with a pedal as well. I'm really excited and really hopeful that this is going to be good. If you have any interest in it, link in the description below. Go check it out. This isn't a sponsored video. I just really like light gun games and I'm hoping you too. And check it out. Maybe it'll be of good use to you. And if you have any questions that you would like me to ask the development team, feel free to reach out to me in Discord or over on Twitter. Send me a DM or tag me and I'll get those questions asked and hopefully get the answers you guys want. Right, that's it. On with the video. So the news of Xbox gamers not buying games has become a known meme. In fact, that's all PlayStation fans can talk about. Xbox gamers just don't buy games. And, well, it looks like that myth has pretty much been well and busted. Now, this doesn't mean that Sony players don't spend more money. They've got over double the platform base. So, by definition, they will eventually spend more just by brute force. But if you do it by per user spend, it turns out that Xbox gamers actually end up spending more money than PlayStation gamers. But that's a little bit of a surprise. Now, I know Bill has been saying this for quite some time, and we've seen certain analysts talking about it as well, but there's never really been someone that's come out and spoken about it, and it looks like all the PlayStation fans decided that what they're going to do is rush over to AI, and then when AI slaps them down to the ground, they then go after another AI. In fact, one user went to Grok, then went to Gemini, and then probably went elsewhere, but they were never going to get a different response. But then they moved the goalposts and decided, this is the way I'm going to be because I have no life, I have no self-respect, and I definitely don't have any dignity left within my soul. But this first one I'm going to look here, and Kamed is a good friend of mine online. I have full respect for the guy, and this was nothing bad from him. He was just asking a perfectly valid question. But let's go on with the actual first piece of information. Xbox users do buy games. 10 billion plus in annual content revenue. 90% plus digital attach rate, which is higher than PlayStation. Game Pass users buy more games. Xbox often leads PlayStation in US spending on shooters, sports, and racing games, especially in shooters because that's more of a Xbox genre than it would be a PlayStation genre. Just like JRPGs would be more a PlayStation genre than an Xbox genre, right? I expect JRPGs to sell more on PlayStation than they would on Xbox, but I would expect FPSs to sell way more on Xbox than they do on PlayStation. It's just a genre shift, right? You've got different audiences for different games. Digital game revenue keeps growing. Now we've got Kamen over here asking Grok for information, and so Grok brings up that information. 10 billion annual content revenue. Microsoft's FY25 Q3 earnings show 5.7 billion quarterly gaming revenue, up 5% year on year, with content services up 8%. Annual projections exceed 10 billion per Statista and Demand Sage analysis. So this is coming, from where the data has come from. 90% plus digital attach rate. Analyst reports, Resetera note 2019. Game Industry 2014. So this is quite old data. Indicate Xbox's digital ratio 90% surpassing PlayStation. So this data here is quite old, but at the end of the day, that's the data that is readily available to people on the internet. Game Pass users buy more games. Microsoft, this is more recent. VGC in 2021, Game Industry 2019, their subscribers spend 20 to 50% more on games. Xbox leads PS in US spending on shooters, sports, and racing. Now, this isn't on overall every single game. So I know some people are going to take this as, you know, as a collective collateral that, you know, Xbox users are trumping PlayStation. That's not what this is saying here. What this is saying here in these three genres, based on the data being shown, just like in EA Sports, college football, Forza, Call of Duty, Xbox gamers just in general spend more. Digital revenue growth is up 8% in fiscal year 25 quarter 3 per Microsoft. So you can see that things are going up, right? Then we have KMed, you know, asking for if it's a trusted source, because obviously he wants to make sure, and, you know, good on him for that. You know, these are the legit questions that you do need to ask. Please don't go after KMed. He's a really nice guy. I like him, right? This isn't putting any shade on him. It's the next stuff I'm going to show that's going to be showing some shade. But this is him, you know, categorically, you know, asking the questions for it to systematically go through. And I'm grateful that he did this, because it's now easy to follow and for everyone to read. Are any of these sources trusted by the industry, and can you compare the numbers to PlayStation and Nintendo? Yes, sources like Microsoft Earnings, Circana, US Sales Standards, Statistica, reputable aggregator, GameIndustry.biz, and VGC are trusted in the games industry for data accuracy. So this information isn't just coming from random places, they are coming from trusted sources. Digital share for Xbox is 90%, PlayStation is 80%, Nintendo is 53%. Gaming revenue for Sony is 31 billion, which is the market leader, and you know, that's no surprise, especially when you're just looking at just sheer market share that they have and how many consoles they've sold. Microsoft has a 23 billion, Nintendo has $9 billion. Now, the subscription impact, Game Pass users spend around 20 to 50% more. PlayStation is in a similar boat, around a 30% per uplift per reports, whereas Nintendo Online boosts 10 to 20%. Xbox leads US shooters, sports via Circana. And so I said, you know, I guess this puts that narrative to an end. And Grok responded saying, indeed, the data debunks the myth that Xbox users don't buy games. Game Pass actually boosts spending. Glad to clarify with facts. And I can say openly that I've played a number of games on Xbox through Game Pass that I've thoroughly enjoyed, that I have then gone and purchased. I have tried to make those purchases physical because it's already digitally available on Game Pass, so I don't feel like buying a digital license unless that's the only one available. Then I'll probably do that. Like Indiana Jones, I bought the collector's edition. That was a no-brainer for me. I love the game, and you know, Starfield the same, as you can see. So, and there are multiple other games, right, that I've just bought because I enjoyed the game. Like even Mass Effect, right? It's available on EA Access. It's available on Game Pass. I went and bought it. I've got no regrets. Hey everyone, if you've made it this far, consider leaving a like, subscribe, and hitting that bell to stay up to date of all content I release. We are trying to hit 10,000 subs by the end of the year. Hopefully with your help we can make that happen. Thank you so much. Back to the video. So then we come over here, and this is where the salt begins, because they can't accept the truth from the AI. Shooter, sports, and racing, in other words, the three worst genres in gaming. So what they're saying is games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Gran Turismo, Forza Horizon, EA Sports, and stuff like this, they're all trash. None of these are good games. And obviously then they start to get really offensive with their statements, because they just can't handle the fact that they don't have a Game Pass service and others do. This is pure jealousy. And so this one over here, Becky's mad, right? Shroud07 turns around and goes, boom, right? And he thinks he has a win, or she has a win here. And it says, Shroud07, based on 2025 data from Statistica and VGC charts, PlayStation gamers collectively buy more games, holding 63% of the combined revenue versus Xbox's 37%, due to a larger install base of 75 versus 33 million. Per user, however, Xbox gamers spend 33% more on content with higher digital attach rates. So how this person thinks that this is a win is phenomenal, but it actually gets better, folks. It actually gets better, because you're not going to believe where this is going. Grasping at straws, are we? Grok, you don't need Grok to point out that PlayStation has a larger install base, and by definition, more people are going to buy games because they've got over double their install base. Now, you made it seem like Xbox gamers buy more games than PlayStation gamers, which is a blatant lie. That's not what he said at all. He said Xbox gamers buy games. And here's Keith turning around and saying, did you even read the second part of Grok's answer? Yes, PlayStation users buy more games because there is more of them. However, the second part, which is the most important part of the actual response that he gave, right, which is here, per user, Xbox gamers spend 33% more on content. So realistically speaking, if Xbox had 75 million consoles sold, they would actually be trumping PlayStation users. I mean, that's where the pattern is going, right? I'm not saying that is going to be statistically true because, you know, people spend differently. And it's just weird how he decided that he's only going to take the part that I've got a bigger console space, but ignore what Grok was saying. And then later on, he decided to run off to Gemini, and then Gemini turned around and told him, yes, PlayStation needs to spend more money because they have a higher user base. You know, they buy more games. And it's exactly what Grok told him, but he omitted the part about the per user to try and get that win. It's really sad. But this obviously was going to be a controversial post because you've got a lot of PlayStation fans out there who are just sad, pathetic little, you know, individuals who just cannot accept that video games is for everyone, and Xbox fans do actually buy games. Now, there is a portion, you know, a good portion out there who do just rely on Game Pass. That's no secret. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a service that's available, and should the service disappear, they will go and buy their games. But the service is there, so why not use it? I use it. Every single one of these PlayStation influencers are using it, be it Mooch, be it Nibs, be it JDub, be it Reforge, be it MBG. They're all using it. All of them are using it because it is the best deal in gaming. Simple as that. I mean, these people are coming and complaining to Xbox fans, but at the same time, their own house is using it. I mean, you can't make it up. But this hopefully puts this myth finally aside that Xbox gamers don't spend game. It's proven here that per user, 33% of the, you know, Xbox users spend 33% more than PlayStation fans per user. So that's actually really impressive statistics. Again, this is just coming from all the data that's available. Some of it is dated data, and some of it is as new as you can possibly get from the Microsoft earnings. But in terms of shooters, sports, and racing, these are the ones that truly do appeal to Microsoft. And yes, I know the irony is that they did shut down Forza Motorsport team entirely after the colossal failure that was Forza Motorsport. But as you can see here, that myth is now well and truly debunked. I know we're still going to hear it from them, and I know we're still going to hear them say Xbox gamers don't buy games, but at least now you have a source to turn around and say, no, you're just full of crap, and you don't have the data to back up that this is the case. The data now supports Xbox gamers do buy games. All right, folks, that's the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion, and I'll see you in the next one. As always,